What it do, y'all? It's your boy Steven James, and we back up in this thing, man. This is Ballin on a Budget Jewelry, because it ain't nothing wrong with balling on a budget. And today, we got a video showing y'all some tips and guidelines for when you buying your first piece of jewelry, and really when you buying jewelry, period. Now, before we get started with the video, I want to ask if you've been rocking with me for my first few videos up until now. My first few videos, excuse me. I was just asking for that subscription, man. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks in advance. And with that said, let's get into the video. Okay, now, the first thing I want to talk about, which is one of the most important things when it comes to buying a new piece, and that first thing is your budget. You always want to consider your budget first. You can't move on into the next step or any other step in the process of buying a new piece if you don't know how much money you working with in the first place. So always know your budget, man, and make sure that you looking at things that are within that budget. It just simply makes sense. It's the only way it can happen. It's the first step. That's why it's so crucial. And the most important step to me in all of this is be patient. Be patient, man. Take your time when you picking your piece. Take your time when you deciding, man. Don't pick the first piece you see. I remember growing up as a kid, going back to school shopping. As soon as I hit the mall, the first thing my pops would tell me is don't buy the first pair of shoes that you see. Don't buy a pair of shoes out of the first store that you walk into. Make sure you walk around, man. Get a good idea of everything that you have to choose from before you make a decision. You probably gonna find something that you like better than the first thing that you see that you like. You're gonna find something better. And chances are you might just find the same thing for cheaper somewhere else. So always shop around, man. Always take your time. Never buy the first thing you see that you like. Also, you want to be patient with your budget. Make sure you're patient, man. Save up the money you gotta save. If you got $500 and a piece you won't cost $1,000, save a little bit more. Be patient. Take a little bit more time. I know it's hard. I know it's real hard when that money burning a hole in your pocket and you want to get something nice and blinky. But take your time, man. You'll thank yourself later. You gotta remember, this is something that you're gonna have to potentially live with for forever, you know, or get rid of it, or let it sit up somewhere and just waste your money. And nobody wants to do that. So take your time, man. Be patient. Save up whatever you gotta save up. Find a piece that you really, really like, man. That is the most important tip right there. Patience, please have it. A few other things you definitely want to make sure you're doing when you're picking a piece, and specifically when you're online, is one, make sure you're reading reviews on whatever website or whatever jeweler that you buying from. If people ain't happy with the products, if it's got bad reviews, you definitely don't want to be buying from there, no matter what the pictures look like, no matter what the price is. And you always get what you pay for. So if it look like it's too good to be true, it just might be. Go check them reviews, man, and you'll find out real quick whether, you know, you spending your money somewhere that's worth it or not. Another thing you definitely want to do is make sure you get in proper diameters, widths, lengths, things like that. Make sure you pay attention to that. Try to make sure you get a picture of the piece to scale, because oftentimes when you buying on a budget, you buying cheaper pieces, and the pictures that you see are often enlarged to show details, and sometimes they will, sometimes they won't have pictures that actually put your piece into perspective to show you what the actual size is. So you always want to make sure that you either get the information on the width, length, and diameter of the pieces, and the weight too will tell you a lot. And if they do have multiple pictures, make sure you scroll through those pictures and try to get a picture of it to scale. Sometimes they'll have it on a ruler, sometimes they'll have it next to a quarter, sometimes they'll have it, you know, up next to a pencil or something like that, to give you some kind of reference, so you know exactly, you know, how big the piece is that you're getting, man. You don't want to get duped. Think you're getting this big dope piece, you know, that looks all nice and clean, and then when you get it, it's freaking tiny. It's probably came out the women's section, like, you know, and it still might be nice, but you know, it's definitely gonna disappoint you if you were expecting something a lot bigger. And with that said, you definitely always want to look at the specs. Always, man. And honestly, I don't even buy a piece if I can't find the specs on the website. The specs is gonna tell you everything you need to know. It's going to tell you whether you're getting your money's worth, whether you're getting cheated. It's going to tell you exactly what your product is made out of. It's going to tell you whether it's solid gold or if it's gold over or gold plated. and with the different base metal, maybe that base metal is silver, copper, whatever, you know, the jeweler used, it'll tell you that. It'll also tell you the clarity of diamonds, which is something you also really want to pay attention to, man. When you get that spec sheet, or, you know, the little box of specs that has all the little information in it, make sure you're paying attention to the color of the diamonds. If it has multiple colors, then you might have a piece that isn't, you know, totally perfectly uniform. You might have like different little colored diamonds that are kind of close, but it might be a little bit off. So to tell you a little something about that. Also the grade, whether that I, SI, VS, VVS, you also want to pay attention to who's grading those diamonds, man. Whether it's the GIA or the AGI, or one of the other smaller organizations that grade diamonds, because these different organizations grade diamonds differently, so you always want to know who's grading your diamonds, because a VS1 diamond might be a SI, or a VS3 diamond might be a SI1 diamond in another organization's eye. So, you know, they definitely, some people are more strict, some people are more loose when it comes to grading these diamonds, so you want to know, you know, who your diamonds were graded by, if possible. It's not always possible, but it's something that you definitely want to check for. Another tip I would give you guys is definitely pay more attention when it comes to picking what kind of gold you want, if you're getting gold. And if you're just one of those people who like, I don't like white gold or I don't like yellow gold, you have your specific gold that you like, that's dope, but you still have to pick a carat, whether you're gonna get 10, 14, 18, 22, 24, anywhere in between. That's something to really consider when you buying your piece, because it depends on what it's for. You know, if you like me and you don't care about yellow gold or white gold, do you want something a little flashy? Do you want something a little bit more subtle? Those are things to consider when it comes to picking what kind of gold you want, and also what carat you want. Do you want it to be super bright? Do you not want it to shine all that much? Me personally, I'm not into the really bright golds, and that's a part of the reason why I get 10 karat gold. Everything I get is pretty much 10 karat gold. And for me, that decision is pretty easy. For one, I'm cheap. Y'all already know the channel. We ballin' on a budget. 2, I just don't like that bright yellow. And 3, I'm just not all that good with items. Like, you know, I just don't, you know, I'm not a TLC kind of guy. I'm gonna take it off and toss it on the dresser kind of guy. I don't really take care of my pieces the way I should. So, and you know, the higher impurity you get when it comes to the gold, the more vulnerable, the more soft, the more prone to breaking, scratching, things like that your piece is gonna be, because gold is a really soft metal. That's why they mix it with different metals to, you know, harden and give it a little bit more durability. That's why I get 10 karat gold. I need something that's gonna be the most durable. That's the most durable, so that's just what I go with. But whatever your reason is for picking whatever karat gold that you go with, just make sure you think about it and consider it, because it is something to consider. And the last thing that I want to talk about, and this is probably actually debatably the most important part, and that's buy something you love. Buy something that you absolutely love, man. Don't settle. And I get it, to an extent, we all settling, because we all want the big pieces, the big $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 pieces. We all want the, you know, the super expensive watches with all the diamonds in it and all that. We all want that, but we can't afford that. But what we can do is find something that we love within our budget. Like, you should never settle for something that you like, kind of like, and you iffy about on the table. You should absolutely love it. And the dollar sign does not determine that. Whether you're spending $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000, you can find something that you absolutely love, and you have to do that, man. Be patient. Find something that you love. That hopefully this piece is going to be with you for a lifetime. Maybe it'll be something that lives beyond you, that you pass down to future generations. Just make sure it's something that you love. And with that, y'all, man, my video is over. I'll see y'all next time. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment if you feel like I left something out that's super important when you dealing with these jewelers online or even in person. But yeah, man, I'll be back with the next video next week. And until then, y'all be safe.